Hello everyone, my name is Tara G. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. In the third episode of the 11th season of Chicago Fire, Brett ended his relationship with Casey, which led to a rift between Violet and Chief Hawkins. Meanwhile, Kid and Severide are doing well as a pair. After a handful of breakups, it appears that Chicago Fire may be breaking other romantic partnerships to protect the relationship between Kelly Severide, Taylor Kinney, and Stella Kidd, Miranda Ray Mayo. This theory comes after a couple of breakups. The couple, who have been together for a number of years and have been referred to as the show's main couple, got engaged towards the end of the 10th season of Chicago Fire. Kid and Severide have moved past the unfortunate event that occurred during their honeymoon, during which they were attacked, and are currently settling back into their previous routine. However, despite the fact that they continue to be deeply in love with each other relationships on Chicago Fire have recently come to an end. Despite the fact that Jess Spencer left the show, One Chicago decided to keep Matt Casey and Sylvie Brett's Cara Kilmer romance running until they ultimately split up in the Chicago Fire Season 11 premiere. This decision was made in spite of the fact that Jess Spencer left the show. Meanwhile, Violet Makami, Hanako Greensmith, and Chief Evan Hawkins, Jimmy Nichols' affair was sadly cut short after he died in a fire accident, not long after they had rekindled their romance, not long after they had resumed their romance following a hard patch in their relationship. It is important to point out that both of these events took place inside the first 3 episodes of the 11th season of Chicago Fire. Related. The 12th season of Chicago Fire exposes a major obstacle when it comes to Severide's future now that Casey and Brett have broken up and Hawkins has left the show. Severide and Kid are the only couple on Chicago Fire who are actively involved in a romantic relationship. It's possible that this was done on purpose to maintain the newlyweds as the primary center of attention. Even while they have never been shy about flirting with each other at work, it would appear that the One Chicago series has stepped things up for them. In light of the fact that Severide and Kid's relationship has survived 2 breakups in a row, the show feels an obligation to maintain the status quo for the sake of a more even-handed narrative. In spite of the fact that it is a first responder show that deals with terrible events, the project that is created by Dick Wolf has made an effort to inject some humor into its storyline in order to prevent the atmosphere from becoming too solemn and gloomy. It is extremely improbable that Kid and Severide will go through some significant problems that could lead to their breaking up, considering both this and the recent run of breakups that have occurred on One Chicago. Where will Severide and Kid go from here? Even though Severide and Kid's relationship appears to have reached a stable state, that does not imply that the writers of Chicago Fire are going to jump at the chance to hurry what's next for the couple. The natural progression of their relationship would be to start a family, but it seems unlikely that either of them is interested in doing so at this moment in time. Getting married was obviously a significant step for each of them, but considering each of their troubled histories made it even more so. Kid has been focused on her job, wanting to do so much with her passion project, Girls on Fire, and also becoming Firehouse 51's newest lieutenant, after the Chicago Fire Season 10 finale saw Casey for the last time. After the conclusion of the show, Kid will become the next lieutenant. In the meanwhile, in addition to leading squad, Severide is also an active member of the arson team and works there often. Given this, both will be invested in their jobs, unless NBC decides to throw them a surprise and include an unexpected pregnancy narrative. In this case, both will be prepared for this development. Even while it was wonderful to see Severide and Kid so content, it wasn't necessary for Chicago Fire to separate the other couples that were included in the presentation. They should have waited a little bit before breaking up Casey and Brett, particularly given what happened in the season 10 final when they were talking about it. To make matters worse, killing off Hawkins at this juncture in the narrative was completely unnecessary. He was such a fascinating character, and Nichols and Greensmith worked really well together as an acting duo. The procedural could have gotten even more mileage out of that fact. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel and stay with us.